You know those people who say things like, I'm not interested in small talk. I want to talk about real deep shit like space and death. Have you ever just been like, yeah, okay, and let them take the reins and see what they actually have to say? Because my friend just did that to someone on a first date, and she gave me permission to share the story because she thought it was hilarious. So my friend matches with this guy, and he doesn't have a ton of personal information on his profile, but he's very polite in their interactions. He compliments her, so they set up a date, and she doesn't really ask him anything about himself yet because she's like planning to do it on the date. So they meet at a coffee shop, they're talking. She's asking him questions to kind of get to know him, like base level questions of like, what do you like to do for fun? What kind of music do you like? What do you do for work? Just normal questions that you would ask someone that you don't know anything about to get to know them. And he answers her questions, but he doesn't ask any back. And this only happens for about 2 minutes. They've known each other for 2 minutes. And he goes like this, kind of throws his hands up, and it's like, hey, I really don't care to have shallow small talk that doesn't matter. Can we talk about something deep and weird and interesting that actually matters? And my friend is a very straightforward, no bullshit kind of woman. And so she was like, okay, what would you like to talk about? Like, go ahead. And he looked very taken aback, and he was like, well, I don't know, don't you have anything more meaningful to ask me, you know? Like, life isn't all about shallow things, it's also about, like, the soul and deeper things. And she was like, sure, okay, again, like, go ahead, or, like, give me an example or something so I know what you mean, and we'll have a conversation. And he had nothing. And he was getting frustrated and trying to get her to talk about something that was deep or interesting to him, but he had nothing to say. And she ended up telling him, okay, like, you're clearly trying to put on some sort of persona that you can't actually fulfill. I'm not interested in that. And she left the date. But yeah, if you're gonna act like a manic pixie dream boy / girl, you better actually have something interesting about yourself to back it up.
If you're going to dismiss small talk and push for deep conversations, you'd better have something interesting to say. This guy wanted to dive into real topics, but had no substance when given the chance. Awkward.
As somebody who used to work in adult entertainment, and my job specifically was making sure that women were dressed appropriately so that they could go downstairs into the venue and be put on display appropriately for the paying patrons of the bar. Well, it actually was a club. It was a gentleman's club. I am seriously concerned with the fact that girls are trying to wear like poster dresses in public. Because when I used to work, our girls weren't allowed outside even in their club like attire. They had to change into street clothes. They weren't even allowed to go outside in their teasers. Like they had to, well, that was for one, like liability, and then like two, like cleanliness, because we were a fully club. So like girls they were fully up on stage, and so it wasn't sanitary for them to be wearing their teasers outside and then bringing all those nasties in and putting it on the stage. Anyways, so the point is that I had an entire office set up, a store that was set up next to my box office, where girls would come in and they would buy these dresses specifically, and they were only allowed to wear them inside the club. They could not go outside the club in them. They couldn't. So I don't know why girls are trying to justify wearing this type of clothing in a public space, when this type of clothing was originally created to be put on your body, and then you go into a private setting so that your body can be viewed in a private setting. It's for visual entertainment. They're visually pleasing, and to wear them in a public space and not require the people who are viewing you to return on the visual investment that you are offering them. It's disrespectful to yourself, okay? It shows, excuse me, oh my God, I'm getting emotional. No, I'm just kidding. It shows a lack of awareness of like understanding that this type of thing like is not necessary in every aspect of your life. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little bit like emotional because I feel like it's also disrespectful to dancers, because it almost feels like you guys think that these girls wear this stuff, women wear this stuff out on the street, and they don't. They wear street clothes. My dancers used to show up in sweats and a hoodie and like Air Forces and no makeup and like a bag of McDonald's.
She's got a point. Those dresses are meant for private clubs, not public spaces. Wearing outfits designed for visual entertainment out in public feels out of place. It's a reminder that not every setting needs to be about sexualization.